Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5. And today I have a very special guest on the episode. I am super excited to introduce you to Mr. Kent Curry, otherwise known as the poet around here. Kent?
Hi.
All right, so we decided to do the Valentine's Day challenge that's been going around on social media. But we thought it would be really fun to share our story on the podcast instead of just social media posts. So we could kind of give you guys a little bit of the behind the scenes. We'll see how much of our story we can get into the timing on the podcast. But I will let Kent introduce himself, tell you a little bit about himself, and we'll get started with the questions.
Plus, we met almost exactly 3 years ago, February 25th, 2018. Yes. And so it's kind of Valentine's Day was my last lonely Valentine's Day.
It's true.
And actually there was, kind of a bad situation, not bad, but just a situation that made it less than fun Valentine's Day for me. And then 11 days later, Sade and I met for first time over Korean.
I didn't know there was a bad Valentine's Day for you. You never told me this.
We can talk about that on another podcast if you want.
After you tell me about it.
No. So we met online, and so it was just the typical hi. She had a string of guys she was apparently talking to. I was just desperate for one female to talk to me. And she actually replied, and we hit it off. I was like walking around the house, or pacing, I guess, trying to come up with the exact right text. And whatever I wrote worked. And we said enough right things to each other. She was working on surprise materials for her life coaching. And I was just desperate for a female to talk to me, more or less. And woman. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. And so then she was like, out of the blue, as far as I was concerned, said, maybe we could meet up. And
we had talked the whole day. We'd been chatting.
It wasn't really the whole day. It was more the afternoon.
12 noon to like 10 p.m.
No, it wasn't that late. You had already, because you were looking for places that might play music that night. So we and it didn't work out Saturday, so we worked out. That was on Saturday. We were talking on Saturday, the 24th.
Yeah.
And then on the 25th is when we actually went out for dinner.
Right. Yeah, so we thought we could meet that night.
Yes.
We were going to meet that night. I actually asked him out. I was like, oh my God, this guy's great. Can we hang out tonight? I was just
being honest. I mean, I guess that came through. Somewhat trustworthy.
And chatty.
Yeah. Well, desperate, I think was hashtag desperate.
The big complaints that women have is like, guys always send me this one word answers, and like they go quiet for days, and you were so different in that way. You responded, and we had a lot in common. We talked about kids, we talked about work, creativity, books. So that's how we met. And our first date, we tried to have our first date that evening, but it didn't work out, so we had it the next day. We went to a local Korean restaurant.
Your choice.
Yes.
That's what you wanted. And then you said 7 o'clock. So I showed up either 5 or 10 minutes early, got a table, and it was 7, 7:01, 7:02, 3, 4, at 10 after. I was about to think I'd been stood up, and she waltzed in.
Yes, so I was late, somewhat deliberately. So
I'm going to do
a podcast episode about how to stop using random internet dating tips because I tried a couple of those and they were random internet dating tips are useless. I'm just going to say that without going into too many details, but one of them had said, well, if you show up a few minutes late, then you can read the guy's response, and that will let you know if he's a good guy or a bad guy or whatever. And obviously, that had nothing to do with anything. Most internet tips have nothing to do with real people.
Except stressing me out. I finally had someone who was interested in me that seemed interesting, and then she didn't show up.
I did show up, just a few minutes late.
10 minutes. 10 minutes late. And I actually came early. I'm famous for, if it starts at 7, getting in at 6:59 and 55 seconds. Got to have those 5 seconds to take off your coat. And so I came early, so it felt extra long. And I was a lot more nervous than I realized I was.
I regret nothing.
Yes. She doesn't. Yeah. So then we couldn't stop talking.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop talking. I barely touched my food. I guess that's going to be a whole...
He ordered soup. He ordered
some
like a noodle.
Seafood,
a seafood noodle soup. It was really hard to eat.
Yes. Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad choice.
And so we're doing all this talking, and then like he could like between the talking, because he did a lot of the talking, which was great. I enjoyed that. But then like scooping the soup and the noodles, he took most of his food home.
Right. I didn't notice it at the time, but yeah, I had a lot of leftovers.
Right. All right. How long have we been together? So
3 years as of February 25th. Well, we weren't. Yeah, that was the first time we met.
Yeah, and we've been married
It'll
close
be
to
2 years in
now.
June.
Yeah. So because we dated for a year before we got engaged.
Well, it was March, so 13. We got
13
engaged
months.
in March.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 13 months that we dated.
Yeah. So it will be 2 years in June that we have been married. Time flies.
Time flies. Yeah, when you're an adult, you think you're ready. You think if this is the one, then you're ready in 3 or 6 months or whatever. And there's lots of stories there. We had this magic timetable. We were going to introduce ourselves to our kids, to our parents, and they all got blasted almost instantly. But looking back, the 13 months was necessary. We were able to work out a lot. Even though there was so much in common, there's still the problem areas or were areas, maybe really they weren't problem areas, they were unexplored areas.
Yeah.
We didn't realize it, and only time could reveal those unexplored areas.
Right. Yeah. And we needed to learn how to resolve conflict in a way that was unique to us. So it wasn't like
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It wasn't like we didn't know how to resolve conflict. It was just resolving conflict specific to our personalities and our life plans and
Right. That's a good way to put it. Unique to us.
Yeah. Okay. Age difference.
13 years.
Yes, I'm older.
Not really. No. Yes, we're 13 years difference. She's super smart, and it's.
Because we don't feel it though.
No.
It never comes up.
I have my theory is once you both hit whatever time, what you both hit around 35, outside of like kids and maybe a couple other big things. 35 up, I'm not talking. You're basically the same. Everybody's kind of in the same boat. I'm 13 years older than you, but
our kids are really close in age.
Right, within 4 years. So it's like at some point, unless you're single and you want kids, and he's older or vice versa and doesn't want kids. I mean, to me, there's not much else after 35, but I can't believe how many people think age is such a huge deal and. Oh, it would never work. Well, it won't with that mentality, but...
Yeah, and it works the other way, too. I know plenty of women who have made it work the other way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we're not talking about 70-year-olds with 20-year-olds or scooping up trophy wives in the teens or whatever. I mean, we're not talking about that. We're talking about real people trying to be mature in a relationship and love.
Yeah. All right. Who was interested first?
I mean, I felt like the first night we were both super interested in each other. I think we're gonna maybe do a future podcast on the first week or maybe something.
The first, because we were both interested. I think I had a little less faith that it would go anywhere.
Yeah, and I was just still desperate.
Right? Yeah.
So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who is taller?
I am, but by barely like
Couple of inches.
No, actually a quarter of an inch or something. 3/4 of an inch. It's almost nothing.
Yeah. Hence, it doesn't really. Once
Yeah,
again,
right.
it doesn't matter because
Right,
we're not
right.
even like keeping
Right,
tabs.
right.
But yeah, he's a little bit taller. Ooh, I like this one. Who said "I love you" first?
So, this one I'm still conflicted about.
What? How?
Wait.
I said it first.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah, you did.
What's the
She said it
conflict?
first. Well, the conflict is, it was faster than my timetable because I wanted us. We were exclusive, so I didn't feel like I wanted to. When I said it,
He wanted to control the process.
No, I wanted it to mean something in a special way, and I wanted it to be locked in, and so, so she definitely said it first. I wasn't being coy, but I was more deliberate, and it always was a big deal. I never had, I didn't throw that around, so that phrase around it, because it was more than words. So I just wanted to, not just to be sure, but to be locked in and make sure she knew what that meant. And yeah, so I was a little slower. She thought and also how she saw me saying the phrase was more,
I think you saw it more as like saying "I love you"
Basic-
meant a lot more. It
Correct,
meant commitment.
correct.
It meant this is
Correct.
it. It meant I'm in 100%.
Right. It's why I didn't try to kiss you the first night or the second date or whatever, because I wanted it to mean something. It wasn't that I didn't want to. It means something, and if it means something, then we make sure we don't just throw it around.
Right. Yeah. And that's and I felt that because I did ask. I was like, yeah,
Right,
what's
we were
going
exclusive.
on? And you
Yeah.
explained it. And I hadn't told anyone I did it before you that I loved them either. But we were different. And I knew that we were different and that we were going somewhere.
Right. And because we were exclusive, like I said, it wasn't a game. It was just ahead of what I felt like safe with schedule. Yeah.
All right. Who is the most impatient?
Oh, me by far. It's not even close.
No way.
You're.
I am way more impatient. I am like, let's do it. We actually had this little meme of like marshmallows, like
Yes.
that we
Right.
shared, and it was like one person's marshmallow was like not even touching the fire, and then the other person's
that's
was
true.
like burnt to a crisp, and I of course was
Well,
that.
in love, she or all those things. She's super impatient, but in non-love type of situations, I think I am. Traffic, getting places.
Traffic, yeah, you are.
All that, and even yeah. But when we were dating and stuff, you were like. Yeah, you were
I was
very
ready.
impatient. You were ready. You
I
were
was
ready.
ready.
That's a nice way to say it.
All right, who's the most sensitive?
I mean,
I think you feel things probably more deeply than I do.
yeah, probably.
Right?
Probably.
Yeah.
But I'm a guy, and so like I'll throw things around, and you get bent out of shape, and I'm just like, why?
I'm
I don't
more
understand.
emotional.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm more emotional, but I think when it comes to like who is actually feeling what it is more deeply, it's you.
That's probably true. Yeah, I think that's safe.
All right. The loudest. It
I think
depends.
I think we compete. We're both loud talkers.
Yes.
We're both loud talkers. You can hear us through the shut door, through the ceiling if you're in the bedroom above. Sometimes she'll be doing these life coaching things in the kitchen, which is way down the stairs, and we can hear her like she's right outside our bedroom door. Yeah. And I'm
loud on the phone.
I'm loud on the phone.
Loud at church.
Okay, I'll take your word for that.
Well, you're clean.
Okay, all right, that's true. We're just too loud.
I have one ear that's more sensitive than the other, and when we are at church, he cannot stand on that side because his clapping is so loud. Like I'm like, dude, I can't go deaf just because you are like worshiping.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Also.
All right, who falls asleep first?
Oh, that's not
For
even
sure,
close.
me. For sure. Like, I am like,
And
10
yeah.
o'clock, 10 p.m.
Or earlier sometimes. But
Yeah.
you're getting better at staying up. So I'm a night person. She's a morning person. So that's part of it. It's like not a competition. That's
Opposites.
like, correct. It's like saying if the question was who sleeps in longest. Well, it's me because she likes to get up at the crack of dawn and I don't see any reason to see a sunrise.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to see a sunrise?
Right. So she falls asleep first because she gets up earlier.
Yeah. All right. Who cooks better?
Oh.
I do.
Yeah,
Let's
not even
just
close.
Keep it short,
Yeah.
short and sweet. You did promise to learn how to cook after
And
we
I
got married.
can do a couple things.
You
that
can
I
make
couldn't.
guacamole.
Woo, woo.
You learned to make guacamole.
Wonder what the next question is.
And then probably drop
Wonder
the
what
endeavor.
the next question is.
Better morning person.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
you.
would be me. Better driver. So they didn't say faster driver. They said better driver.
So I'm by far the better driver, and if you ask the 3 kids, they would agree. All right, and
my
that
gosh.
goes right into most competitive, which also is me by
Yes.
far. You can ask the 3 kids, not even close.
Yeah, on the driving, like I was so bad at teaching my kids to drive. He had to step in even before we were married.
Right, that was just, we had only been dating a couple months, and you were
yeah.
like, the kids are either going to kill me or I'm going to kill the kids.
Yeah.
Can you help? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It's another excuse to be with her.
thank you.
You're welcome. It's true.
Funniest, you for sure. Oh my gosh, like I don't know if I married him for his character or for his humor. You're by far the funniest guy that I think I have been with. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Like,
So
I would marry you all over again if you just came with
That was
it.
just
You're
funny.
just funny.
That was just funny. So here's, I think, a good couples gauge. If you have constant small laughter, not big joke laughter, not pratfall movie laughter, but if you're both always giggling or laughing about things, there's a trust that it seems to indicate and a connection because you're giggling and laughing and just having fun in
Being
life.
playful.
Yeah, it indicates something a lot deeper. And when we've had rough spots, we're never laughing. We're never. It's nothing's funny. Nothing. In other words, and that's almost for us at least the instant indicator on how well the relationship is going. If we're laughing and teasing, and it's not even like I said, nothing memorable. If you said, "What were you guys laughing at?" we probably couldn't even remember most of the time.
Right.
When it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we are, and it's just like that's the fluidity that keeps the relationship alive and fresh and you in love. And when you're not laughing, the little laughs.
Then you know you need to
there's something.
deal with something.
Right. Something's disconnected.
Yeah. All right. Where do we eat out most as a couple? Used to be the little coffee shop.
Right.
And since they've been closed.
Right.
So
this one's hard, and she usually chooses because she's.
I have
She's
taste
not-
buds.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a Taco Bell.
And I eat a Taco Bell, so I let her choose.
Yeah, it's hard right now just because of the pandemic and we're not
Right.
doing that as much. So we'll see. We'll see what that one is
Right.
later. Who is more social? That's a weird one because I am the extrovert.
Yes.
He is the introvert.
Yes.
But I think he likes people more.
So you're more social in the house. You talk
Uh-huh.
to everybody around the world, loud, boisterous, having fun, connecting. Where it's like if I call somebody, it's like, hey, my house is on fire. Do you think you could come over with a bucket right now? Like it's something really, really specific. Like I'm very careful. I mean, that's just because I don't know. I don't like, but outside, like if we're in a crowd or whatever, it's not even close. You generally don't engage that much, and I'm glad handing like I'm wanting to be elected or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I think that's just grew up Pentecostal, and we were like my mom especially was like, you need to be friendly because people get ignored. So I just, I mean, it's not an act. I listen and I care, but I don't like it exhausts me. Then I come, you know what I mean? Because I'm not an extrovert. I don't feed on that. But I think it's important, and I like when people make an effort to talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the neat freak? That's neither one of us.
No.
Yeah.
No, neither of us.
No neat freaks here, and our kids aren't neat freaks
Right.
either. Just world be warned.
Future spouses, beware.
Yeah. There you go. Where was your first kiss? This was kind of special.
Good. So there's a neat place just east of us where the Missouri and the Mississippi rivers converge, called the Confluence. Oops, sorry.
That's okay. Confluence.
Yeah, and she said that was a special place for her, and so that's when I initiated the first kiss. And there's a long story behind this that we won't get into, but she was totally unprepared. I thought I was like signaling, okay, here it comes, be ready. Here's the flags. Here's the fireworks. I released the doves.
I think I had given up.
And maybe you had. And so then I was like moving in for the smooch, and she was like, what's going on? I mean, she didn't say that, but her facial, and I'm like, didn't you see the doves? Didn't you see the flags? Didn't you see the...
I'd be like, okay, first date, second date, third date, fourth date, fifth. I was like, okay, fine. It's not gonna happen.
So yeah, there's a longer story there, but it was fun and it was special.
It was very special.
And that was cool.
Yeah. How long did it take to get serious?
Didn't take very long. We had a lot, like, we're going to have to do a discussion on our first week. We had lots of long conversations the first week. That was...
And then there were stages of getting serious.
Yeah,
Which is also
fair.
what I teach my clients. It's like, it's not just one stage and then you're serious. It's like there are levels of getting serious, and each level has its own characteristics and it's dynamic, and there are certain things you need to know. So we were quote unquote serious immediately. We both knew we really liked each other, but then there was another level of serious as we started dating. Then there was another level of serious where we went exclusive, where we actually said, hey, we're not dating other people
and started
anymore.
meeting their friends.
Then there was meeting friends,
to have some
family.
honest conversations about are they who they say they are. And they were. She was. I was, but it was like important to meet the friends because again, when you choose your friends, you choose who you're gonna be.
That's true. All right, who plans date night?
We alternate.
Yeah, we both do.
It just depends on how fancy or how. Yeah, we alternate.
Yeah, we're always finding interesting things to go out and do or to do on Zoom.
Right.
So we get pretty creative when we're doing it. Who picks where you go to dinner?
Always, I mean,
So
mostly
typically
99% you. Which is fine because I'm pretty flexible.
The farthest we have traveled.
I guess England and France, right?
England, France, Canada's pretty close. Bahamas is pretty close. Yeah, I would say France.
Yeah.
Who is the first one to admit when they're wrong?
Oh, it's not even close. I am married to a woman who's never been wrong.
Oh my God.
Or is only wrong once a year.
Oh my God.
So it's not even close.
You know what? I'm kicking you off the podcast.
So no. In fact, everyone needs to come to my podcast. I can tell you all about everything. I don't have a podcast.
All right, moving on.
No. So I have a theory. I have to share this theory real quick. On forgiveness. It feels like to me, most people, if they're honest, they have a tendency to either ask for forgiveness first or say they're sorry, as it were. But they're usually hard to forgive the other person. Totally me. I have very little problem saying, hey, I blew it. I'm really sorry. But then if she wants to apologize, that's another story. I'm a hard-hearted guy. And then I think
not really, not in that sense.
Anyway, but then I think there's people who have a real difficult time admitting they were wrong, asking for forgiveness, but are usually more turned to forgive easily. Mm-hmm. And I think in this case, for whatever reason, I don't have a big deal most of the time. Obviously, I don't have trouble most of the time asking either for forgiveness, saying I'm sorry, I blew it. And she is very quick to forgive, where I'm very slow to forgive, always have been for whatever reason. And she's less likely to ask for forgiveness or say she's sorry.
Yeah, that is interesting. I never thought about it that way. But
I just, when I've noticed couples or just people, it just seems like you're
one
good
or
at
the
one.
other.
It's like you're good at one and not good at another. I talked to some people and they're like,
true.
oh, I'm about 50-50. And I was thinking, yeah, you're not. You're not. You just don't want to think of that through because it's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to go, how do I handle being wrong? Oh, like Jesus did.
Yeah,
you know?
whatever.
Yeah, like.
But we both change, and I think that's one thing we both do well is when we identify something, like we both actively engage in making changes.
Yeah,
you know.
I would agree.
All right, who wears the pants in the relationship?
I think it's just depends on the area.
Depends on the area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cries more? No, so we're not really criers.
No. No. I don't know.
But
I guess.
probably cried a couple of times, but not like solid
Right,
crying. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I would say you, but that's only because like
It's just happened
it's 1 to
like
0
twice
or
in
2
the
to
last
1,
3
2 to
years.
1 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really low.
All right. Who has more tattoos? Well, it will be me when I get my first one.
Oh.
Okay. Who sings better?
I sing louder in church.
I sing better for sure.
Yes.
But there's this really fun time.
So I don't like I don't keep up with music at all. Like I like music, but it's just background. And I'm kind of picky and all that. But so we were on our honeymoon cruise and there was this guy girl thing contest, like 5 or 6 guys, 5 or 6 girls. And one of the activities was and got to remember, I'm competitive, was everyone would be asked to sing just long enough of a song that the audience would recognize. And then it would, then you go to another person. And so...
On the other team.
Male, female. But the key was you couldn't sing a song somebody else had sung.
Right.
And the problem with that is when someone's singing a song, it sticks in your head and the audience is looking at you.
You can't think of any other songs at that moment.
Correct. And on top of that, I don't keep up with music. And on top of that, I remember tunes a lot more than lyrics. So it was like, but I'm competitive. So I wasn't going to go down easy. So while everybody else is singing the latest, whatever, top 40 and whatever was cool, I was singing Happy Birthday and show tunes, but not cool show tunes like Rodgers and Hammerstein from 60 years ago show tunes. Because I don't know Hamilton. I recognize the song from Hamilton, but you
can't sing it yourself.
I can't sing it. It's lyrics. I have to know the lyrics. And so I was singing Sound of Music stuff, church songs.
Yeah, what was really cool was he couldn't sing. So he was always off key and well, he kept staying in the game, so while people kept being eliminated.
Right. Who knew a million songs. Because they repeated or didn't they were trying to do top 40 where I was just desperately trying to remember any song in my head.
And so people kept rooting for him in the audience.
Right.
It was just
I think I made it to the top 4 or 3.
Top 3.
Yeah. And then before I bounced out and it was just I ran out of songs in my head. I didn't and it was I did lead everybody. I did Jesus Loves Me and everybody chimed in, which was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sing better, but
By
if
far.
you want someone to win a singing competition.
Or at least be competitive.
Yeah. All right. Who hogs the remote?
I don't watch much TV.
But when you do.
But when I do, the remote is attached to my hand. Yes.
There you go. Did we go to the same school?
No.
And actually on this one, what's surprising is how compatible we are is because we've just read so many of the same books.
Yes.
What's interesting is just spiritually, we had the same background, and then we have our libraries overlap in so many ways. So it does feel like we kind of went to the same school.
Right. And I think, even though you were in Nigeria and I was here, you got that classic British education, which was a lot closer to what I had in a little different way, Americanized. And so I think there was so many core things that were the same.
Yeah.
I had people oh, what do you guys have in common or so on, and it was actually how we grew up, even though she was on a different continent, it didn't matter. Yeah. And like you said, and because reading is so core to who we both are, then that made it easy too.
Yeah. All right. Who drives when we're together?
Well, one of us gets tired on long trips when she drives.
Really?
Okay, I do.
He does. Let's just leave it that way.
There's stories there, though.
Oh my God. All right. That was the last question. All right. That was the challenge. We're actually recording this the day before Valentine's Day. And I'm a little chagrined because I thought I was like doing so well on the Valentine's Day weekend stuff. Like I had Kent's gift shipped out. I have his card. And then he has started with flowers on a card as of Friday. So he's making it like this 3-day thing, which is like
intentionally.
Kind of unfair. See, he's competitive. Like he's
no, I'm not competitive on stuff like this, or I don't feel like I am. But then she gets real competitive.
Well, anyway, my gift is going to win.
All right.
This weekend.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure my gift is going to win this weekend.
Good. I hope so too.
Well,
I hope so too.
We'll have to. We'll post it on social media tomorrow, the 14th, and then this podcast episode will come out on the 16th, which is Tuesday. Or if I get it edited, maybe we'll put it out tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll see. All right. So, in terms of a wrap up, anything you want to share, Kent Curry?
Thanks for the opportunity to be a guest. One of the things we did a marriage seminar. Sade's really good about finding opportunities and stuff to, hey, we could do these cards. Here's a marriage seminar. Here's a book. Let's discuss. I'm slower at that, to say the least.
But you're willing to participate, which is huge.
Yeah. I think, you have to be willing to accept. Sometimes their strengths are too strong in some area, and you appreciate it, but then it keeps going. And so one of the neat things we did was we at the marriage seminars, they said, as someone choose an odd day and someone do an even day, put together a list of little things you like. And for her, it's like get her coffee, that type of thing. And so on odd days of the calendar, she tries to be deliberate, not that you can't do it on another day, with some nice gesture on my list or related to my list. And then on even days, I try to do it for her. It's amazing how that keeps things at top of mind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an even day. Am I going to do something instead of going, of course she loves me. We're married. Or, of course, I did that one thing 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And justify it. Because it's like, it's a new even day. And it's my job to put a little life or put a little thought into the marriage instead of her busy work day and my busy work day. And I've been surprised. Like, the other thing is we're not keeping score. So it's like, she missed a day. Well, then I can miss a day. It's just like we're trying. We know the other one. So.
And it is when we're doing something special. So, like, it's like, like, okay, well, we're going to do this amazing thing. It's not really a big deal. But yes, I agree. It's been really, it's helped my brain go intentionally to what can I do today? Picking up your favorite drink, picking up chocolate milk at the gas station.
It doesn't even have to spend money. Yeah. So much as it's an extra effort, and generally they know it's an extra effort, and then it's like, and it keeps it alive. I've been surprised at that simple. You've got odd days, I've got even days, and so we got to think. We need to prioritize it instead of just treat it as another busy day that I might be able to fit something in.
Yeah, it helps us keep from taking each other for granted.
Yes.
And the general complaint around Valentine's Day is that people wait for Valentine's Day to do something special.
Right.
It helps us remember to do special little things all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
That. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on the podcast. He's going to be a regular, people. All right. Thank you all for your time and attention. I hope you have an amazing Valentine's Day weekend. Hope you create love for yourself in all the ways that love comes to us. And I will see you next time.
Bye.